No outgoing calls? Take responsibility, please. A few years ago, I used to work at a doctor's office. My job would consist of sitting in a private room with 2 or 3 others and man the phones. Incoming calls, outgoing calls, appointment reminders, medication refills, doctor referrals, you name it. Our panel of doctors tended to be very spoiled and demanded a lot from us on the phones. One of our jobs was to call every single patient, 100 plus, that was scheduled the next day to ensure they were coming, and to fill any gaps in their schedule. If a patient didn't show or if a spot wasn't filled, the doctors would come yell at us for not doing our jobs. Despite this not being something we could control anyway, one day, we were short-staffed, leaving only me and one coworker to man the phones. We decided that one would take calls, and one would make these outgoing calls that the doctors demanded happen daily. No matter what, if the phone queue got too long, we'd both jump on incoming calls for a bit and we'd switch roles every few hours. It wasn't perfect, but it was working. About noon, our boss showed up and said that we shouldn't be making any outgoing calls since we were short-staffed. We explained that the doctors demanded these calls happen, and we explained our system that was getting us by. No go. We were told no more outgoing calls today. Period. Nice. My coworker and I enjoyed a slower afternoon. Even when incoming calls were scarce, we didn't make outbound calls. The next day, some patients didn't arrive and some slots were not filled at all. The doctors were furious and burst into our room demanding why we didn't make the calls like we were supposed to. We explained that the boss had explicitly told us, no outgoing calls. The rest of the day, the boss had fuming doctors and nurses lining up at their office to complain about what had happened. We could hear it all through the wall. Hours of complaining on top of not being able to do their own work. My coworker and I just sat back and laughed. Edit. I figured out the format and how to put in paragraphs. Sorry about that. Go full Homer Simpson. Get an autodialed to send an automated message reminding them and to send $1 for eternal happiness. For that matter, install a turns dial at your door so anyone that wants to yell at you has to pay for the privilege. Damn, my doctor's office never call me the day before. I just have to remember. My doc has automated text messages for reminders. Makes things a lot easier. Both of my current healthcare providers have robocall systems for confirming patient appointments. One of my previous providers had a relatively small practice and so just had staff doing it. Good read. Only thing that would make it better is paragraphs. I hate when I get those calls along with texts and emails. OMG. Really? Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. And why do the doctors care so much about filling every possible slot? Money. I obviously do not know the exact context, but it seems like the boss kinda felt bad for you being understaffed and tried to make it easier to you. No?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.